Pastor Oseni, you are welcome on board too. You just met us
Yeah,
in the
thank you. You are welcome, Dr. Teriba.
Thank you very much.
I'm enjoying your analysis, but I would like to ask you this question. Nigeria happens to be 1 to 10 oil producing nation. Meanwhile, Nigerians are the most poorest people in the world. How can we reconcile that and to explain to ordinary man on the street why Nigerians are still suffering good health care, bad road? What could be the solution if you happen to be the Minister of Finance in Nigeria right now?
Well, I didn't get the part about Minister of Finance, but I got the part about Nigeria being one of the largest oil producers in the world.
yes.
You say Nigeria is the poorest. Nigeria is not the poorest.
Nigerians are the poorest, though despite the fact we are one of the largest oil producing country. Nigerians are the poorest.
Wait, Nigerians are not the poorest. The way the incidence of poverty is high in Nigeria. Okay, Nigerians are currently known to have the largest number of poor people in the world. That doesn't make Nigerians the poorest. That says, well, on average, if you look at per capita income, Nigeria is much richer. Nigeria is still a middle income economy. The poorest countries can't enter the middle income even in 10 years from now. They are in low income. So we are a middle income country, not a poor country. But inequality, ensures that the wealth that we have are concentrated in the hands of a few. I don't know any other African country where individuals own more private jets than Nigeria. I'm not sure if in South Africa or in Egypt, if the number of private jets that are owned in Nigeria would not exceed the number of private jets owned in those two countries put together. So you can't say that Nigerians are poor. Nigerians are not poor. But inequality, in that those who have access to the country's riches have access to it big time and exclude, a majority of the population. That there are many Nigerians that are poor in the midst of riches. So that's the first. But your key point is that we have oil. At this present stage that we are in the world, having oil is not a license to wealth. Dubai has oil,
but they are not poor.
It extracts more wealth from its airport, from government-owned real estate, than it extracts from oil. Because if here in Nigeria is probably the only major country in Africa where you have airports, but you don't have any commercial terminal. And in aviation, 40% of the revenue in aviation come from the terminals. You don't have any commercial terminals. Only passengers can enter most Nigerian airports. If you want, to receive somebody who's arriving, you can. In other countries, you could have entered the airport for 6 hours before your guest arrives, spending money, shopping. In Nigeria, you stand outside or sit in the car park. You can't enter. We lose a lot of opportunities. It's only when you travel 30 kilometers into the city where you can find shopping, where you can find hospitality that could have been provided at the airport. So Nigeria is poor, because we neglect assets that could make us rich. And this oil deceives us a lot. The problem is that for every barrel of oil that Nigeria produces, and you are told that we earn $75 a barrel on it, what's Nigeria's value added in that barrel of oil? all the equipment have been imported. The equity is maybe 50%, 40% foreign owned. So when you look at Nigeria's value added from each barrel of oil, if we get $10, we'll be lucky. So don't compare yourself, with countries where they have local content. With countries where the equipment is theirs, and $70 per barrel, $65 is theirs. So here, much of that $75 is repatriated back abroad. So let's not deceive ourselves about oil.